You're listening to the New York Sports Show, the #1 all New York sports podcast. Hosted by Dominic Konareski.
Hello and welcome to the New York Sports Show, America's #1 all New York sport podcast. I'm Dominic Konareski. The New York Jets are 6-3 as they enter their bye week. Now, as a reminder, this is the same exact team that so many ESPN analysis had going 0-9 up to this point. Some people didn't even expect the New York Jets to win 3 games, well, they have doubled that already. 6-3, holding the #1 wild card spot in the AFC. Second place, but tied for fourth, if you want to be technical, with the Buffalo Bills. And I tell you though, the entire AFC East division is one that is up for grabs. No team truly has the edge, and it could be blown wide open. Buffalo Bills starting quarterback Josh Allen may miss 1 to 2 weeks with what looks to be a UCL sprain, an injury he received in NFL Week 9 in the Bills' final drive, trying to come back and win against the New York Jets. But even so, he was still able to throw a 60-yard bomb that ended up being an incompletion for the Bills' final play of the game. Going down the standings, Buffalo 6-2, Jets 6-3, Dolphins 6-3. The Jets hold a tiebreaker over Miami. They beat Miami previously this season. They are still to face the Dolphins team though later on. And then they go up against the New England Patriots, a team that's last place in the AFC East, but they're 5-4. The Jets will face the New England Patriots coming off of their bye. That is on Sunday, November 20th, a 12 o'clock p.m. start time. And then the Jets go up against the Chicago Bears. And then another big game against the Minnesota Vikings. That's on December 4th. Biggest thing I'm looking at is the New York Jets defense. The New York Jets defense has been led by multiple defensive rookie of the week, Sauce Gardner. So many wide receivers have been lost in the sauce. Man-to-man coverage, you can't throw on Sauce. You can't. That's a guy who never allowed a touchdown in college. He's been great. Most likely, he's going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Overall, the Jets defense has been amazing. 176 points allowed. Offense has been very, very solid. 196 points put up on the board. But I tell you, QB1 Zach Wilson, he's been mediocre. He's had a lot of good flashes. This is a guy that could be a great quarterback, but he gets into his head too much and he does bonehead moves. For example, NFL Week 8 against the New England Patriots, Zach Wilson threw 3 interceptions. 2 of those, he was trying to throw the ball away, and he just did not throw it high enough, and he just threw it at a stupid angle, went right to the Patriots defenders. This is a guy that could be undoubtedly the New York Jets franchise quarterback, but he needs to do smarter plays. He needs to get that football IQ up. He went to BYU. He had a great senior year. He needs to perform big now. Of course, injuries have played a part in that, though, but I want to look at the offensive coordinator, because the Jets have had some brilliant plays called by Mike LaFleur, but they've also had some stupid plays during games. I want to look back at the Patriots game since we're still on that topic. Patriots are horrible against the run. Absolutely horrible this season. Jets didn't even win it 20 times. If I'm correct, they win it 16 times, and then they go up against the Bills, win it well over 30 times. The Jets have 2 great running backs. At the beginning of the season, they had Breece Hall, torn ACL. Now, they have Michael Carter. They have James Robinson, a guy who just was so explosive now against the Buffalo Bills. It's going to be great to see how they utilize the formerly undrafted running back who they just traded for from the Jacksonville Jaguars. The New York Jets are a legit contender. They've shown that. They've proven that. They took down the Buffalo Bills. Yes, it was at MetLife. They do face the Bills again this season. That's on December 11th at Buffalo. But this is a team that's done very, very well, and it's so nice to see. Now, I don't want to beat up on Zach Wilson too much, though, because you know what? Even though he's had some bonehead moves, he has done a very good job, though, leading the New York Jets offense. I think that the Jets need to find Wilson to throw the ball more, because he's never going to learn if they just run it every play. The biggest thing about Zach Wilson is he's either overthrowing the guys or underthrowing them. And, you know, the whole point of football, you gotta be on target. And he's underthrowing guys when it's just short, quick passes. It shouldn't be like that. It should not be like that. 4 touchdowns to 5 interceptions this season. Overall, Zach Wilson has a quarterback record of 5-1-0. Career-wise, he's 8-11-0. This season, 57.5 completion percentage for 1,202 yards. As I mentioned, the 4 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. A quarterback rating of 48.0. That is extremely bad. Extremely bad. But this is a guy, though, who's only thrown the ball a total of 167 times. He's had 96 completions for that 57 completion percentage. Overall in his career, 2 comebacks and 3 game-winning drives. This is a guy that could easily be clutch. This is a guy that, when you look at some plays, you're like, okay, this is why he was a top 5 draft pick by the New York Jets. Other plays, you're thinking, how did this guy even go in the first 4 rounds? That's the Zach Wilson that the New York Jets have had to deal with. That's the Zach Wilson that the New York Jets have had to deal with. But when you look at their draft class, especially the most recent one, Sauce Gardner, cornerback, Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, those 2 guys are ranked 1 and 2 right now by the NFL for rookies this season, and that is so huge to see. The New York Jets' main factor to their success has been their young players. And you know what? Put Breece Hall up in the top 5. If it wasn't for the injury, 100%. Breece Hall would be a top 5 player. He was so effective with the New York Jets as their number 2 running back. And it's just so good to see the future that the New York Jets have. Now, when it comes to Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, jersey number 17, played in 9 games, has started 5 of them, was targeted so far this season 68 times, has 42 receptions for 521 yards. He has 2 touchdowns to his name. Garrett Wilson is a very dangerous wide receiver. He reminds me almost of a young Brandon Marshall, and we all know how dangerous Brandon Marshall was during the prime of his career. Now, many people are like, oh, the Jets need to throw to Elijah Moore more. I would like to see Elijah Moore be in contribution to the New York Jets offense. He has not gotten really any targets. This is a guy, though, that has not run any routes ever since he made the big stink about not getting a lot of playing time. The New York Jets have essentially benched him even though he's been playing, and that's gonna hurt Elijah Moore a lot. But when it also comes to Zach Wilson, though, you gotta look at it both ways. Elijah Moore wants more playing time. He wants to get those receptions, but Zach Wilson, he's the guy throwing the ball at the end of the day. Offensive coordinator, good. Request the play call. Coach needs to confirm the play call and allow it to happen, but then it's up to the quarterback. Zach Wilson, and we've seen this his entire career up to this point, he's only seen half of the field. He's only seen half of the field. Zach Wilson needs to be a better football IQ quarterback, and that is the only way that Elijah Moore is going to be targeted. Right now, Zach Wilson loves Garrett Wilson. He loves him, and I don't blame him. Garrett Wilson has had some hell of a catches this season. Let's face it, he's had some of the best catches this NFL season. Most likely, he's going to be a candidate for Offensive Rookie of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. He's going to be the New York Jets' number 1 wide receiver for the next several years. Zach Wilson is, of course, going to keep throwing to the guy that he is connecting with and is helping Wilson produce on a heavier level. Nevertheless, this is a team that will be a very great team for the next, I would say, 5 to 7 years if they continue drafting. Why, this could be a possibly mini dynasty. Who knows? But it needs to be fixed at the quarterback position. That's why I love the bye week. You know, we go into We go into week 10. New York Jets have their bye week after 9 games. This is just a perfect time. It's the middle of the season. You have 8 games left. Coaching, coordinators, they get to see what's worked and what hasn't worked and what needs to be tweaked. And overall, just talk to their players. Get to know what their players think more. And just take down notes, get suggestions, and watch a lot of film. Jets come out of their bye week to play the New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium. If the New York Jets beat the New England Patriots at Gillette, the internet's gonna break. The New York Jets are a much better team than New England. It just all has to come together like how it did against the Buffalo Bills. Jets defense has been great all season long. That has never been a factor. It's only been their offense, mainly their quarterback. But you got to get on their offensive coordinator, Mike LaFleur, for having Zach Wilson in the spot he is. Zach Wilson, as I mentioned, he could be a great quarterback. Everything just needs to come together for the young QB1. Comment down below what you guys think. I'm Dominic Konoweski. Thank you guys for listening.